Another parent has come forward claiming she told Causey Middle School's principal about what she calls inappropriate behavior by Charles Lewis. Lewis, a 6th grade teacher at Causey, has been arrested twice in the last 15 days. One time for DUI, another time for sex abuse against a 9-year-old boy. Fox 10 News reporter Libby Amos has new information on yet another complaint against Lewis. Libby?
Bob, even though school was out today for the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, I was still able to speak to school officials about this case. I was told the system is still trying to determine if school leaders dropped the ball after an earlier complaint against Lewis. In the meantime, another mother has come forward saying she too complained about Lewis's behavior. When Charles Lewis Jr. was charged with sexually abusing a child, Causey Middle School Principal Mary Wood told Fox 10 News she had never had any complaints against Lewis. Sam Bohannon disagreed.
I just thought that it was a lie.
Within hours of the breaking news, one mother came forward with proof that she had submitted a written letter to the school system's central office nearly 3 months ago, alleging Lewis exposed himself to her son inside of his classroom. Now, more concerned parents are speaking out. Bohannon says Lewis gave her son gifts, and that's when she complained to the principal.
My son would come home with gifts, small gifts that I thought was inappropriate, like, that most teachers just don't do. Like, he come home with stationery one time from Mr. Lewis, and I just asked him to please don't accept gifts from him.
Bohannon says Lewis never touched her child, but she was uncomfortable with the way he interacted with him.
He, in class, had told the kids that if they were really good, that he would take a small group of them to his beach house over the summer, without telling any parents.
After hearing the reports about Lewis's arrest on January 12th for allegedly sexually abusing a 9-year-old boy, Bohannon was furious.
I thought, oh my God, if they would have just shone some light on that situation last year, maybe this child wouldn't have gotten hurt. I mean, I just wanted to cry. It could have been my baby.
I spoke with school board member William Meredith earlier tonight. Causey is in his district. Meredith told me the school system's legal staff was getting involved to find out if the formal complaint against Lewis was handled according to state law. I also want to mention I've tried to contact Lewis at his home, and I've also left a message on his voicemail, but so far he hasn't returned my calls. Bob?
Keep in mind this is a follow-up to a story that Fox 10 News broke last week. That's when we asked School Superintendent Dr. Roy Nichols if the school system had investigated the original complaint. Nichols told us he did read a letter from a parent, but that getting a letter of complaint was not out of the ordinary.
No. What would you have us have to do? We can't. We get allegations all the time from jilted lovers and from ex-spouses and from people who just have a grudge against somebody, making allegations that they've done this or that. And we have to take all of that with a grain of salt.
But Pat Guyton of the Child Advocacy Center says by law the school system should have reported the allegation.
No one at the school has to prove or disprove anything. They don't have to believe it or not believe it. What they have to do under the law is to report it. They have to report it to law enforcement and or the Department of Human Resources. That's what the law says. They are mandatory reporters. The law has no gray area about that.
Dr. Nichols has agreed to talk with Libby Amos again tomorrow. We'll tell you what he says then.